What's going on, Dominators? Domination tips. I'm right back with the next explanation video. Let's give me a short brief about my current base status. Most of my defense buildings have finished, such as you can see in the base. So only the towers, the garrisons and the redoubts have to be upgraded. I also have started quite a good some days ago, my garrison to get my Colosseum as well as town center defenders on the global stage, and now I'm continuing with all of the towers, whereby my lowest tower currently is going up to the Enlightenment Age. I have also put 7 people back in the university because I also want to have the university research done. My forest is lasting for about 9 days, so I'm doing multiple works at once. In the blacksmith I managed to get the next upgrade for my transport, or for my transporter, so upgrading to Mark IV. Currently my transport has only nearly equal health points to my fighters, because I did plenty of research, especially in the university, for the hit points, so it feels considerably weak when I'm using the transport, because I'm using the transport instead of 3 planes, but this one transport is flying more slow than all of the planes and has only the same hit points like one of them. So in total it does not feel like some valuable additional troops. It's feeling like some kind of weakness using it instead of my planes. For all of you who are interested by the video of the affiliate links, so earning some money or some bonus gifts from the game, I have already unlocked these affiliate links, but I have to make sure that they are properly working. So I think within the next days, probably within the next week, we can go them running. You can see my next mirror. So for the next World War, pretty unspectacular I would call it. The defense is in the mid between global and industrial age, and the base layout is not that strong. But let's come right to the core. The video will be about our bazookas in-game, and I will start off like I'm used to do with some basic information. So such informations which you can also take from the game itself or from DomiNations Wikia. But nevertheless, these informations are quite important, especially if you are in lower ages but interested in the bazookas, planning to have them. So this first informations will be especially for those players who don't have currently access to the bazookas, and not for the experienced longer players. Then we'll go over to the troop statistics themselves. I made a graphic again so that you have very visualized all of the values from all 4 stages of the bazooka upgrades simultaneously. As next, I have prepared some video outtakes, so from the attacks, that you can pretty much getting a visualization of what are the strengths and what are the weaknesses of the troops, and at least I will do only a brief and a short intel about all researches, boosts and world wonder benefits which we can probably get, so that you can make the most out of your bazookas. Like I mentioned, the bazookas are some global troops getting produced in the factory, therefore it's quite obvious the bazookas are getting paid with oil. You can upgrade them twice per age, so twice in global age and twice in the atomic age. And you can speed up the production of your bazookas because they are considerably long, costing some time, which I will explain later, by building more of your factories. I have only built one, and sometimes I'm regretting having not more of them. So over here we see the first stage for the global age, the basic bazooka. When you are upgrading it first in the blacksmith, you are getting access to the heavy bazooka. Stage 2, also global age. This is my current status. If you are getting to the atomic age, upgrading your factory to stage 5, you will be able to unlock the next kind or the next stage of the bazooka in the blacksmith, and this is the veteran bazooka. So the first stage of the atomic, and in total the stage 3. The last current stage which is available, and which I have seen very, very rarely, so not many people having them, I think, are the elite bazookas, also atomic age, and currently the highest in the game. Here I have summed up all of the values for you. The complete table over here is written in German, so don't make any concerns about. Most of the words are pretty anticipable what they should mean. You see all basic values over here. Due to the university and the library research, there is the problem in game that many of the values are getting distorted. So I took the basic values all over here. Only at the heavy bazookas from the global age, I took also my values to highlight the discrepancy between the basic values and the maximum boost values, so that you can see that boosting them, getting some benefits by World Wonders and doing some research has quite a huge impact on their stats. Let's start with the hit points. You see that we are starting off with basically 1728 hit points, increasing by nearly 170 to the global age second stage, then increasing by 336 for the atomic age, and at least again increasing for over 300 points. So we have some kind of progression over here. The troops are getting always stronger, and like all other troops, especially like our defense buildings, from the global to the atomic stage, there's quite a huger jump than in the global age or within the global age. It's quite the same with our DPS, so with our damage per second, which is only a ratio of our cadence and of our damage dealt per shot. So over here we are talking of some kind of progressional grow, which means we are starting off with 15 additional damage by the first research, which is getting done 19 by the second one, and at least 23 if we are doing the last research from stage 3 to stage 4. But we also have some specific damage over here, which means that this troop, like most other troops in the game also, is beneficial in some cases and weaker in other cases. At the bazooka we are talking about being beneficial or additional strong against buildings, so all kind of buildings such as resource buildings but also defense buildings. They are stronger against walls and enemy cavalry. Their range is 3 over all ages, so you cannot boost their range, which is one of their highest disadvantages I will mention later about. Their costs are pretty much low, I would call it. These are oil costs for each troop. They have a capacity of 4 troop space, so if you are producing them, you have to waste 4 troop space for one bazooka using, and they have a total production time of 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Their damage against buildings is considerably high, smashing most of them with 1 up to 2 shots. But sidewise problem about them is their low range, so they have to get really close to enemies as well as defensive buildings getting smashed. Most of the buildings, especially defense buildings, getting smashed within 1 shot, like you can see the industrial tower behind. Walls, such as lower walls over here, only take 4 shots to get completely destroyed, but even higher walls, so global age walls, taking severe damage, like you can see, by only 1 bazooka. If you're having multiple of them with you, they are some kind of wall breakers for you. Their boosts against industrial tanks and all kind of tanks are very strong, taking 3 tanks from the industrial age without any problems by 1 bazooka only. 2 bazookas thereby are able to get rid of global age tanks, which are at the same stage like them. But the problem about the bazookas are their low range, like already mentioned. Anti-tank guns and ballistas, as well as towers, taking them easy out if there are walls between. So they are getting pretty easy overwhelmed if there are a few enemy troops, such as infantry guys. They also have no additional boost against infantry troops, which makes them vulnerable to them. Like you can see, even industrial troops take 2 shots to get rid by the bazooka guy, so they are pretty ineffective against them. I would considerably use them in the World War, especially against bases with high upgraded depots and bunkers, or with a strong position of Acropolis and Versailles. For farming I don't take them at all, because they are dying pretty frequently and often and costing oil and time. About our researches, benefits and boosts which we can get for them. Currently the bazookas are one of our onlyest troops which are unable to getting researched in the university. But with update 5.8.5 we'll get access to Montezuma, so probably they will be covered over here. There is not pretty much research to being done about the bazookas, particularly we only have one library chapter, only level 8, so the Global Age library stage. There we have the book Warfare, and within the book Warfare we have the chapters 2 and chapters 5 for our bazookas. Chapter 2, reducing the total damage which they are taking by enemy tanks and cavalry by about 50%, which is huge and making a lot difference. And chapter 5, increasing our attack strength by about 10%. In case of World Wonders, we only have 2 of them which are boosting our bazookas. First, the general boosts of our Versailles, so which are covering all troops. We are talking about 10% more troop health. I will talk later why we have 11% over here and how you can get them. And which is nearly stronger, the Brandenburg Gate, which gives us 20% additional damage for all of our factory troops. Now, the library chapter we already talked about, so Warfare, was an direct boost of our troops, but we also can get an indirect boost of our troops. It's the same level, it's also level 8, so Global Age in the library, but here it is Heritage. And in Heritage, within this book, we have the first chapter, increases offensive wonder powers of pre-atomic wonders by at least 10%. So talking about our Versailles, which is getting increased from 10 up to 11%. Hit point benefits, and our Brandenburg Gate getting increased from 20% up to 22%. Otherwise, there are not any more boosts or benefits which you can get for your bazookas. In total, we can get 11% additional hit points, 32% additional damage, and minus 50%, so 50% reduction of cavalry damage, bazookas, heavy bazookas, veteran or elite bazookas. That was all about my video. I tried to keep it as short as possible, but nevertheless as informative and entertaining for you as possible. Give me some feedback down below the video. We see us soon. Your domination tips.